Alright, we're gonna be making tamales from scratch. First thing we're gonna do is make the red chili for it. And you need to find the corn husks and you need to soak them in hot water for overnight or till they get soft. So to make the chili, you need oil, onions, or butter, the chili, and flour and water. And you're gonna mix that all together in a pot. And then you're gonna add the water. When you're done with that, I'll show you in a minute. And then we are going to cook. We're going to cook it in this pork to make the meat. And then the masa we'll do tomorrow. Soak these in water for 24 hours. So you put equal parts red chili powder and all-purpose flour and you mix it together really, really good. So this is what you want it to look like. It's not quite equal parts chili and flour. You want it to be a little more on the red side than white side, so it's going to be a little bit more chili than flour. Then you take your oil or your butter and you're going to put it in the pan and dice onions and put the onions in there and let them saute. And then you're going to put the chili powder in there with the oil and cook it, but don't let it brown, and then you add water. So this is what it should look like. You're just cooking your onions in the oil to get the onion flavor in the oil. And then once those are sauteed a little bit, I'm going to dump this a little at a time in there and stir it around so it kind of cooks a little bit. But you don't want to do it too long, and then you put the water. You turn the heat on low and you let it cook for a couple minutes in the oil. You don't want it to turn brown, that means you burnt it. And then you're going to add quite a bit of water for this until it turns into a sauce. I would slowly add water. You gotta get all the lumps out. It's gonna take a while till it's a creamy sauce, but it's red chili. So this is what it should look like. Not too thick, not too watery. This is just right, the chili. And I'm going to put it in the crock pot with the meat on very low and let the meat cook overnight with the chili for the tamales. Gonna put the chili on top of that and let it cook overnight. Okay, I'm getting ready to start the tamales. I'm gonna show what you're gonna need. So get a bag of maseca. You can find it at Walmart, or they have another one called Tamale. I'm gonna go ahead and use this one, and it's a 4.84 bag. I'm gonna do this entire bag. And it can make, I think, 16 12 dozen? 16 1 dozen. Something like that. I don't know. It makes a shit ton. So, you could just use whatever you're going to use from it, because when you do tamales, you usually make a lot of them at a time. So, you need that. And then you will need some baking powder. Not baking soda. You'll need a little bit of baking powder. And you will need this lard. You can get lard, and it's going to be 4 cups. 4 cups of melted lard for 1 bag. And then you will also need a gallon of water for 1 bag. But what I'm gonna do is do like 2 quarts water, and then I'm gonna fill the rest up with the red chili, or maybe just put a couple large spoonfuls of red chili so the water is more flavored to make the masa taste better. Or you could do just plain water, or you can even just do a gallon of chicken broth. Either way. And then you'll use salt for your masa. This is optional. Onion powder, garlic powder, pepper. I mean, I wouldn't put too much because I don't think people really use pepper. Ground cumin is bomb. This is what makes the masa taste good. Okay, so that's how we're gonna do that, but I'm going to add some red chili into here. And you will also need a big Tupperware. This is what we're gonna mix our masa in. And you will need a spinner. What are they called? A mixer, a hand mixer, to make the process go faster. And this is the chili. It has been cooking for, I would say, 12 hours on really, really low. I gotta mix it because I did put some butter in there, so that's what the butter is on the top. And I used pork loin. I just have to shred it, so it's kind of like carne adobada. So that's the meat and the chili that will be going in there. That's going to be shredded. You will need to soak your tamale husks overnight in hot water so they get soft and so they will be easier to wrap. If you don't soak them, they're hard and they will crack. You will need, this is a big steamer pot, like this is huge. And it comes with this inside the pot because you will be turning this upside down, or yeah, you will be turning this upside down and it sits inside the pot. And then you stack the tamales on the top and the water will be boiling underneath. And I will show how to do that when the time comes. So here is the red chili water that I'm going to use to mix with the masa right here. And now I'm going to take 4 cups of this lard here, do a cup at a time, and melt it because it needs to be melted. I think this may be easier. It's 1 cup at a time. I could just scoop it in there and unscoop it and put it in there. This lard is called manteca. If you can find that one, I suggest using it. Now I'm going to pop this in the microwave to get it melted. We are done with the manteca, so I'm going to put it away. Pop this in the oven, and in the microwave at short increments to melt it. I'm gonna try a minute. Okay, so I melted the lard, the 4 cups of lard, and while that was melting, I put all my spices in here. So I used a tablespoon of salt, tablespoon of cumin, a 1/8 of garlic powder, 1/8 of onion powder, optional, and I put a pinch of pepper in there and a pinch of minced onion. And you want to add the spices into the oil because the oil will dissolve them. And then we will start mixing our masa. So that's what that looks like. That is my water chili broth combination. And let's get to the masa. So what I did is I put the whole bag of masa in here, the Tupperware. Then we're gonna pour the water inside this and we're gonna mix it up, and then we're gonna put our oil with spices in there. Then we're gonna mix it up with a mixer. And last, you are going to add your little bit of baking powder to have the dough fluffy. So you actually want to add your water broth first and then put the powder, just so it doesn't stick to the bottom. Now I'm going to add the oil, give it a good stir, and add the oil. Okay, homie? Órale. So now I'm gonna add an 1/8 of the baking powder, and this is what it should look like. My phone's plugged in because it's dying. It's very fluffy, and this is going to make it even more fluffy and rise a little bit. So just sprinkle it, and then you're gonna mix that and let it sit for 10 minutes. And while that's doing that, I'm going to shred my meat and get the tamale corn husks ready, and then we will do that. Alright, this is what the dough is now looking like. Nice and fluffy. And I'm going to start, oh, I forgot to do the chili. So now they're soft, so they will be able to be folded. I wish I had a tamale spreader, but I don't, so it is what it is. You can use your spoon, and then you just spread it on there. Like so. Then we will fill it with the chili and meat and then fold it up. See, let's see. Like that. So this is what I got going on so far. There's still a lot more to do. I come to find if you let the water drip off the corn husk, it's easier to slide on, so don't do it when they're super damp or wet. But you still want them to be foldable. And also when you're putting the tamale spread on the corn husks, you want to put it on the soft side, not the rigidy side. They're both rigidy. Whatever side is more smooth, that's the side you spread it on. So now I'm going to shred the chili and start rolling them. Red chili stains, it will not come out, so don't get it on anything you don't want ruined. So I'm gonna shred that to put it in our tamales carne, and then this is what your pot looks like. So I think it's like 8 gallon or 10 gallon, something like that. And you're going to fill the water just beneath the basket, see? And you want to get that boiling rapidly, and you're going to steam these for 2 hours. So So as we are wrapping our tamales, we're going to just stand them and make sure they don't unroll. It's best to put them in a circle, and then you have to put the lid on for it to steam, and then you let them go for 2 hours. I'm not going to be shredding this. Ooh, that looks freaking, that's easy. This has been cooking for almost 24 hours. I don't know if you can see, but it's slicing like butter. And that is pork loin. So pork loin and red chili is what carne adobada. And there's no dryness here. Cooking on extremely low. And then you want to shred that. There is more in the pot. Just don't want it to overflow. I know! And then you can add more chili to get it saturated. And then we are going to fill our tamales. That wasn't a real fart, y'all. That was my silly baby. You wanna see him? You're being silly. You're 5 months. It's gonna be 5 months in a couple days. Yeah. And what do you think you're doing? You're going cross-eyed. That is so adorable. See, it's Christmas. That a mama's tree. And the mama's boy. And the mama's tamales. We get it. Mama gets it. This mama gets it. We gonna mash this up. We gonna shred this to pieces. Okay, let me put some more. So now see, let's get a spoonful or a forkful. Don't be a fool. Oh, it's probably a little too much for the size of this. And then you are going to fold your tamale like so, and then you twist your bottom up. And if you want, you can take, if you're struggling, you could take some of these and rip them in little pieces like this. And you can make a little tie around your tamale so it stays while it's cooking. See? Oh, great. That's really cool, huh? These are going to be my little ties. Okay, so I got them all ready and folded. Now I'm gonna just tie some of them that need it, and the pot's ready, and then we will put it in the pot. So this is what it looks like. Ooh, that shit's hot. This is the final product. You let them cool for about 10 minutes and then they are ready to eat. See? The tamales are done if they don't stick to the corn husk, so those are done. But if it's sticking and it's gushy, then they need to go a little bit longer. Awesome. Look at how yummy.